Good morning everyone, today we're looking at another Invicta watch. So let's get right to it, shall we? So initial look at the box. He says, a simple folding style lid to that yellow box with a nice sort of, almost like a sun ray expanding ray on the top of this box here. Obviously their strapline embossed on the side here with the Invicta logo as well. All very, very simple design really. Not quite opening that box. You can see it's a bit stuck. Not like Invicta, as it's Swiss made, but come on. Obviously inside the box there's no getting away from the fact that it's just a pure yellow sort of theme. Invicta's always usually a fairly functional style brand. So here we go guys, this is the Invicta Speedway 39mm. They have multiple variants of this watch, so this one's either the 3223 or the 3221. Yeah, I've got a couple of reviews of these coming up. So yeah, 39mm case diameter with a 13mm case thickness, so just a little bit thicker than the average watch. I think average watches are actually, sorry, ignore me. I thought most watches are 11, I think they're mostly 14. Oh, no biggie. So this watch retails at around about £70, weighs probably just around 180 grams, so it's a bit of a hefty watch weight to it. And as you might notice from the actual movement of the watch, it uses quartz, and the quartz movement is a TMI VD53B-14, if you want to know that exact movement in there. Now obviously coming on to the face, there's no getting away from the fact that this looks like what they call a Rolex Daytona Panda. I think that's what they were going for with the design, and it's quite a nice sort of homage to that sort of style of watch. So let's get on to the main dial. So the main dial, in comparison to the Daytona, this has got almost like a bit of a lined effect on the middle of the face here, with a squared effect or like a checkered effect on the outside, you can call it checkered. On the outside of the face, it's got more of a polar white kind of face going on here. It's very similar to the Seiko Project Speed Timer. I've got that in my own personal collection. Obviously, the markings are very much consistent with the Daytona. I can't remember if they've got a date dial on them or not. I've seen so many of them. It's really, I can't remember now. Yes, so looking at the face and the increments, we've got an older style loom system to the actual hands and the actual increments here. Usually there are sort of a white colour on newer style loom, but this one's an older style loom with a sort of beigey effect to it. And obviously it follows the same sort of design as a Daytona with your minutes, seconds and a 24-hour readout. Let's see if we can operate that now. So these ones probably screw out. It does screw out like a normal Daytona would. Often it can be deceiving when you see these buttons. I think 10 years ago I used to keep pushing them in. I probably still do actually, because sometimes you've got the ones that actually push in but they look like they screw out. Let's have a look at the movements. Yeah, it's got a very nice clicking movement to that actual chronograph button there. This watch isn't bad for £70. It's got a nice winding back function as well, and we've got that 24-hour readout here, and obviously this chronograph will time up to an hour. And the second hand here actually operates as a second hand, not a chronograph hand. So coming out to the bezel, so the bezel on here we've got a tachymeter, speedometer on there, just so we can keep track of sort of the time and stuff like that. You would usually use that second hand to note that function. I imagine there's probably an actual chronograph function to use this kind of second hand as a chronograph hand, but we can get onto that in a minute. It might be under the crown. So the casing is a full stainless steel casing. Watch uses a 200-meter water resistance, and I just remembered actually these looms here are called tritonite luminous material. You've got mineral glass going over the top, and a full Invicta print on the side of that watch. Quite rare in watches to see the print of the watch on the actual casing. Don't often see that, even in like Rolex and stuff like that. You don't really see them. Full stainless steel crown, screw down effect to the crown. It's got a very nice sort of popper to it. Invicta's usually always got an element of quality. A decent second position with a nice well-defined click, moving out to the first position. Now, second position is a little bit flimsy in terms of the movement, but it doesn't matter too much to us. Let's see if we move out to first position. Use that. No, it doesn't work. So yeah, it is just a tachymeter for sure. It's got a nice crown to it and a nice screw down effect. So come around the back. Got a full Invicta backplate going on the back here. Just a little bit more information about the watch as well as the model number, etc, etc. The strap has a two-tone effect to it. When I say two-tone effect, I mean you can see the outside links here, line finish, inside links, chrome finish. Very, very common on like an oyster style strap. This is what this follows. Even though oyster straps use screws, usually this one appears to be pins, but I think this is popular for Invicta, is to use pins rather than screws. Coming down to the buckle, you've got a double fold over buckle with a safety clasp, revealing just a cheap standard stainless steel interior mechanism to that there. Lots of room for adjustment on the side of the clasp as well. In terms of the strap width, you're going to be looking at 20 millimeters, yeah, roughly. So there we go guys, that is the Invicta Speedway 39mm.